Okay, so this video is to sort of help those of you who are singers who have had to deal with COVID or pneumonia or any kind of respiratory issue and you're trying to return to singing. I was stricken with COVID-19 at the beginning of July. July 4th is when I was diagnosed. And so I had COVID and then I got on the medication Paxlovid. And I got much better, was testing negative. But the one thing that remained was the cough. The cough just would not subside. In fact, it had gotten somewhat worse. And long story short, I found out I had pneumonia in my left lung. So they put me on an aerosol steroid that I had to take. They put me on antibiotics and a whole bunch of other medications. Well, I am coming out of that now. The cough has subsided, massively. I'm not coughing nearly as much. In fact, it was at one point I couldn't say more than 5 words without going into a coughing frenzy. So with that being said, I am starting to journal my process back to vocal health. I can use a lot of vocal pedagogical terms and things to talk about, bending and the effects of the, cricoid, thyroid, and all, the cartilages and all those things and how they're functioning. This is going to be a real simple video. I'm going to take you on this journey with me as I slowly rebuild my voice. And if you are a singer and have a keen ear, you can hear how my chords feel very labored. However, I don't feel that. And what I believe is causing that was the effect of the inhaler. And I stopped taking the inhaler about 4 days ago. And I noticed after I've taken it, stopped using the inhaler, my ability to phonate, to make vocal sounds, is starting to return to me. But I'm going to be very cautious and intelligent about how I approach that. So this is where this journey is going to take. This is day 1 of me doing some singing. I've done a little bit of buzzing and a little oohing, but this will be the first time I'm actually starting to warm up the voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the lower middle part of my voice. So I'm about here, me. And what I'm going to do is just some simple buzzing. So I'm going to do and then go down. Ascend. the reason why I am just doing a little bit of a buzz opposed to fully phonating is I don't want to put any undue or unnecessary strain or stress on the vocal mechanism, and really focusing on the consistency of my air. So after that, the next exercise I think I will do is still air focused, but it also will allow me to phonate as the previous exercise did. But this one will have a bit more focus and tone. So we're just going to do this exercise. And I'm going to do that using lip trills or lip bubbles, whatever term you use. Typically, an exercise for me, I just do a descending scale. And that's fine. In fact, a rule of thumb in general, whenever you are warming up or vocalizing, whether you're vocally healthy or you're getting there, descending tends to be a bit, it's the more appropriate approach in my opinion, just because it releases tension opposed to building tension. But this exercise here, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So I'm just going to go, which allows me to really listen to the buzz, and I can still hear the tone, and it allows me to know whether or not my tone is clean. But there's so little pressure being used in this region of the body. It really is about using your core and making sure the air is supporting it. So let's try that again. Here we go. I don't know what I just played. With that exercise, I can also feel what my body is doing. I can tell whether or not I'm moving into a part of my voice where I need to engage more energy. And today's focus really is about lightness. Singing very lightly, very freely, without any unnecessary tension in the body, which is always the goal, right? Whenever we sing, we don't want to have any unnecessary tension. There will be tension because just, the fact that you got muscles doing this. But this type of exercise, these types of exercises are just to loosen up the vocal mechanism a little bit. Another exercise I like to do when I am vocally healthy, but I think will also be helpful here, is somewhat of a descending exercise, but it's an arpeggiated one. So I'm going to do... So I'm just going to go yum, 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 yum. 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 Now, I can tell also, as I'm doing this, that there's a point to my voice on the bottom where the core seems to almost disengage itself, unless I actively do this. Yum, 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 yum. I really have to think about it in order to fully phonate on that F sharp down there, right? Which is typically the bottom of my voice because I'm a high baritone, so I don't usually hang out down here, very much. But I noticed like here, not a problem, not a problem, not so much of a problem, but it's starting to lose some of its connectivity. So I really have to tell my brain to tell my body to stay fully engaged and not just sort of do this, right? It's hard sometimes, but once again, I'm not trying to press or do anything that's going to engage the vocal mechanisms in such a way that unhealthy chords are having to work more intently than they need to, because that just causes not very good results over time. So I'm going back here, and also you'll notice in these exercises, I am often staying in that middle part of my voice that's the least difficult for me to phonate. So it's very, very comfortable, and I'll go up. Like I went up to a C. Yeah, I've gone up there. My actual voice, I'm singing F sharps, G's, G sharps, and A's, on the top of my voice in full voice. Well, in this case, that's not what I'm working on. Now, I am going to shift into another part of registration, another part of my voice. So I'm going to go into my head voice, falsetti, actually, and I'm going to do these exercises. And these are really good exercises, especially when you're rebuilding health to your voice. It is so easy to feel like you want to sing full out and, be solid, but it's all about the lightness. And that's when the falsetto will also let you know how healthy your voice is. If you can't phonate in falsetto, you really shouldn't be singing. That's my philosophy. Others may have a different approach, not me, because that's a different part of the chords, but it means if they're not coming together cleanly, then the lower region of the chords, might not be in the best of health either. And that's kind of how I gauge what the health of my voice is each morning I wake up. So. You hear that? Right there on that C sharp, I heard a little bit of a scratchy character to the voice, to the sound, and I also felt like I wanted to cough a little bit. That's telling me a lot. So let's try this again. I'm going to swallow again, and we'll see what happens. Take a deep breath. So now I was able to transition over the passaggio from my falsetto head into my head voice into my fundamental voice very, very lightly and pretty seamlessly. It lets me know that my voice is moving in the right direction. And with that, this is where I'm going to end today's session. Once again, this was the very first day of me singing. So I'm not doing anything that is going to stress my instrument. So when I wake up tomorrow, make sure that I'm hydrated, get my exercise in, and then I'll come back in for another 15-20 minute session. And hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I'll be back to my normal singing baritone voice, and I'll start working on my Toreador aria and my Vision Fugitive, which are two arias that I'm currently working on top of La Ci darem la mano, the duet from Mozart, as well as some other stuff that I have coming up in the next few months. So I need to start working on those things, but I can't work on them vocally. I can work on them, translating and all that fun stuff, but vocally until I am healthy enough to do it. So stay healthy. Keep yourself hydrated, rest, get your exercise in, and stay away from sick people. Really, that's the key, folks. I avoided that dang virus for 2.5 years, but it caught up with me. And not only did COVID catch me, but pneumonia hit me right after. So I'm here, and the voice is still, healing. But with God's grace, I will be back to singing in full force in the next couple weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.